Your financial advisor probably never walked you through this particular set of rules. Not because they don't know them, but because most people never ask. Here is what those rules show. There are 4 specific legal situations where the Social Security check you have been counting on can be reduced, delayed, or taken from you entirely, and almost none of the people it happens to saw it coming. We are going through all 4 today, and the last one surprises almost everyone, including people who have already been drawing Social Security for years. My name is Maya. I went through the actual SSA publications and IRS rules on every one of these 4 situations. The earnings limit thresholds, the garnishment exceptions, the combined income formula, so you do not have to dig through the PDFs yourself. What I found is that several of these traps are written in plain sight on ssa.gov, but in language most people only encounter after the damage is done. Let's talk about why this matters right now. Roughly 67 million Americans are currently receiving Social Security benefits. SSA data. The average monthly payment is $1,907. That is $22,884 a year for most people in this audience. That check is not supplemental income. It is a cornerstone. So when something quietly reduces it or eliminates part of it, the real-world impact is not abstract. It is groceries. It is a car payment. It is the difference between a comfortable retirement and one where you are watching every dollar. Let me introduce you to someone who hit 2 of these 4 traps at the same time. Meet Linda. She is 63, has $412,000 in her 401k, and started drawing Social Security at $1,847 a month when she took a part-time job she loves at a local garden center. Linda thought she had it figured out. She did not, but the reason why is something she could absolutely fix if she knew about it. That is Linda's situation at 63. But way number 2. That one hits hardest for people who claimed before they read the fine print. And the numbers are not what most people expect. Way number 1, earning too much from a job while drawing Social Security before your full retirement age. This is the trap Linda walked into. Most people assume that once they reach the age where they can draw Social Security, the check is theirs, no strings attached. That is not correct. The SSA uses what is called an earnings limit adjustment. If you have not yet reached your full retirement age and you earn over $22,320 from a job or self-employment, the SSA takes back $1 for every $2 you earn above that threshold. Not later. Now it reduces your actual monthly check. Here is what that looks like in real numbers. Linda earns $36,400 a year at the garden center. That is $3,033 a month. The earnings limit is $22,320. That is $1,860 a month. Her overage is $1,173 per month. Divide that by 2, she has to give back $586 per month to the SSA. Her Social Security check was $1,847. After the clawback, she is receiving $1,261. She lost $586 a month, $7,032 a year, from a job she loves without ever being warned this would happen. Now the important nuance: once Linda reaches her full retirement age, 66 or 67, depending on her birth year, the earnings limit disappears entirely. She can earn any amount and draw her full Social Security. The SSA also recalculates her benefit upward to account for months where it was withheld. But the timing matters enormously, and that is what most people miss. In the year Linda hits full retirement age, the limit jumps to $59,520, and the penalty drops to $1 for every $3 over that amount, not $2. So if you are close to your FRA, the math shifts in your favor fast. That is the earnings limit, and it stings most for people who claimed early. Which brings us to way number 2. This one is about the long game, and the math here is going to be more uncomfortable than most people want to hear. Way number 2, claiming Social Security too early and locking in a permanent reduction. There are 3 numbers that explain this entirely: 70%, 100%, and 124%. At age 62, you receive 70% of your full retirement benefit. At full retirement age 66 or 67, depending on your birth year, you receive 100%. At age 70, you receive 124%. That is not a rounding difference. On a $1,847 monthly benefit, that gap between claiming at 62 versus 70 is $996 every single month, nearly $12,000 a year. Every year for the rest of your life. Let me put actual math to this. Option A, you claim at 62. Your benefit is $1,293 a month. Over 192 months. That is 16 years to age 78. You have collected $248,256. Option B, you wait until 70. Your benefit is $2,290 a month. Over 144 months to age 82. You have collected $329,760. The crossover point, what the SSA calls the break-even age, lands around 82 for most people with an average life expectancy. After that, every month you live, the person who waited is ahead by $997. I want to know where you are on this. Drop a comment, tell me, have you already claimed, or are you still deciding when to pull the trigger? I read every single comment on this channel. Now, I know some of you are thinking, what if I need the money now? Or what if I don't live long enough to reach the break-even? Those are legitimate questions. And the answer is genuinely, it depends on your situation. Health, other income, spouse's benefit, tax bracket, all of it changes the math. But what this video is about is the permanent reduction that locks in at the moment you claim. That is the trap, because for the people who claim at 62 purely because they hit 62 and they can, without running the numbers, that is a decision that costs most of them 6 figures over a long retirement. We are going to get to exactly what the combined income formula looks like for someone with Linda's 401k balance, the specific number that triggers taxes on Social Security, at the 9-minute mark. But first, way number 3, and this one catches people who have been completely responsible. That is the timing trap. Way number 3 is one most people have heard a version of, but almost everyone gets the details wrong. Way number 3, a legal debt offset that you may not even know you still carry. Most people have heard somewhere that Social Security is untouchable. Creditors cannot come after it. Your doctor's office cannot garnish it. Your credit card company cannot touch it. For the most part, that is correct. But there are specific carve-outs in federal law. And if you fall into one of them, your Social Security check can absolutely be reduced. Frankly, this is the part of my research that genuinely bothered me. The idea that someone can do everything right, save responsibly, retire carefully, and then have their Social Security garnished. For a student loan, they took out 35 years ago for a degree that helped them build a career that let them save that 401k in the first place. That is a loop I find hard to sit with. Here are the 4 categories where your Social Security is not protected. Federal tax debt, IRS. The IRS can levy your Social Security payment for back taxes. There is no minimum threshold they must wait for. If you owe the federal government, the SSA can be directed to withhold a portion of your check. Federal student loan debt. Under the Treasury Offset Program, federal student loans in default can result in up to 15% of your Social Security benefit being withheld. Social Security data shows this affects tens of thousands of retirees annually, many of whom took out loans for children or grandchildren and co-signed. Child support and alimony. Court-ordered support payments can pierce Social Security's protections. If there is a garnishment order in place, the SSA is required to comply. The maximum typically held is 50–65% of disposable income depending on circumstances. Victim restitution ordered by a court. If a court deems you owe restitution as part of a criminal matter, Social Security can be drawn on to pay that obligation. Everything outside those 4 categories, your credit card company, your medical bills, your landlord, they cannot touch your Social Security. Full stop. If this is making sense so far, hit the like button. It just helps me figure out what topics are most useful to cover next. 3 ways down, 1 to go. And way number 4 is the one that surprises people who thought they were completely in the clear. The number that triggers it is one most people have simply never heard. Way number 4, owing income tax on your Social Security benefit, because of a formula the IRS calls combined income. Here is where a lot of people get confused. They hear earnings limit and taxes on Social Security, and they think it is the same thing. It is not. The earnings limit applies while you are still working. Way number 1, taxes on Social Security apply in retirement, even when you are not earning a paycheck at all. And they use a completely different calculation. The IRS formula is this: your adjusted gross income plus municipal bond interest plus 1/2 of your Social Security benefit. That total is your combined income. If you are single and that number exceeds $25,000, up to 50% of your Social Security benefit becomes taxable income. If it exceeds $34,000, up to 85% of your benefit is taxable. If you are married filing jointly, the thresholds are $32,000 and $44,000. Let's put Linda back in the picture. She is 67, now past her full retirement age. She is drawing $2,290 a month in Social Security, $27,480 a year. She is also taking $28,000 a year from her 401k to supplement her income. Her combined income calculation, $28,000 AGI, plus 0 in municipal bonds plus $13,740. Half her SS combined income, $41,740. She is single. That is above $34,000. Up to 85% of her $27,480 Social Security. That is $23,358. Is now taxable income. Linda never saw that on a Social Security statement. Nobody mailed her a warning. The planning move here, if this applies to you, is looking at the source of your retirement income carefully. Roth IRA distributions, for example, do not count toward combined income. That is one reason why Roth conversions before you start drawing Social Security can shift this calculation meaningfully. But the specific math on that is its own video. If you are between 60 and 68 with retirement income coming from multiple sources, a 401k, a pension, Social Security, part-time work, at least 2 of these 4 situations likely apply to you. Not as a warning, just as a fact. The systems are not designed to flag this for you proactively. You have to know to look. Linda's situation, by the way, once she understood the earnings limit and the timing math, she made one adjustment. She shifted some of her garden center hours to part-time consulting. Self-employment income she could control month to month, and pushed her Social Security claim to her full retirement age. Her monthly check went from $1,261 net after clawback to $2,109 at FRA. That is $848 more, every month $10,176 a year. For the rest of her life, reframe losing Social Security is not just about making a single wrong decision. It is about not knowing which questions to ask before the check is already smaller than it should be. These rules exist. They are written down. They are just written down in places most people never go. You showed up here today. That is the whole game won. Free action this week, go to ssa.gov/myaccount and pull your Social Security statement. Scroll to your projected benefit at 62, at your full retirement age, and at 70. Write those 3 numbers down. That takes 4 minutes. Once you see the actual difference, not an estimate, your real projected benefit, the decision about when to claim gets a lot less abstract. I really appreciate you spending this time with me today. This stuff is not always easy to sit with. Retirement decisions carry real weight, and I know that I hope something here made the picture a little clearer. Take care of yourself this week, and I will see you next time. This is Maya, Retire with Maya. We go through the real retirement rules in plain language, so you have what you need to make the call that is right for you. The people who protect their Social Security didn't get lucky. They just knew which questions to ask before it was too late to change the answer. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.